Hello, beautiful souls. This is Dr. Beata. This is day number 2 of the Discover the Dragon Within workshop for parents. So if you are watching on YouTube and you would like the full workshop, including all the replays and resources, the link to sign up is below. And this is for any parents who have ever felt like they have lost it or snapped at their kids or yelled at them. Maybe you feel like you are putting everyone else's needs and wants in front of your own. You feel like you are sacrificing yourself for your children. I'm speaking to all the moms over there because I know this is very common in moms. Maybe you just feel very angry and irritated and frustrated around your children. This workshop is for you. So for day 2, we are going to jump right in. Let me pull up the presentation. I believe this is the one. Yes. All right, so today we are going to do a quick recap first. Yesterday on day 1, again, if you haven't watched day 1 yet, go back and watch it. Super powerful. We discovered what these dragons are. We discovered that they are parts of ourselves. And we actually went through a guided experience where you were able to come face to face with one of these dragons and understand what it's communicating to you. And this is so powerful and really so crucial for ourselves as parents. While we are going through this parenting journey, these dragons will be coming up often. So it is so crucial to be able to recognize them, acknowledge them, and understand them. So then we know what to do. And we talked about how a holistic approach is very important, how when we only look at one piece of the puzzle, especially for healing. So if you or your little ones have health conditions, maybe it's colic, eczema, reflux, food allergies, autoimmunity, chronic pain, anything like that, the holistic approach makes sure that you address the root cause. And what this is with the root cause, we want to identify the root cause and then address it. And sometimes there are multiple root causes. So if you've only been going the nutrition route, you may totally be missing your root cause. Or maybe you're only looking at gut health. You may be missing your root cause. So it's really important to have a holistic approach so that you can really make sure that you are addressing the things that need to be addressed. And then you see improvement and you see real progress and change and transformation. We also did a reflection on parenting. Right? How you feel about parenting, how you feel about your health and your family's health. And what kind of parents do you want to be? How do you want to show up as a parent? Again, we experienced our dragons in that guided experience. And we went through learning what they're communicating. We learned some strategies, some really important strategies on releasing these dragons. And we started to learn what to do about it. So we are going to go in depth on this day 2 part of the workshop of what to do once you start recognizing these dragons. So I wanted to give a little bit of a more background about myself and my daughter. So again, my name is Dr. Beata, and I am a holistic and integrative doctor of physical therapy. And this is my daughter, Claudina. She was born in 2017 and experienced severe allergies through my breast milk. So what that meant is I would eat, let's say, dairy or gluten products or eggs, and she would have a severe reaction through my breast milk. She wasn't eating the food. So it was these microscopic amounts that were getting through to my breast milk. Now, I went down the nutrition path at first. That was what I was most comfortable with my background as a doctor of physical therapy. And we did make some progress. We eliminated her triggers. We eliminated certain food groups, and we did see improvement. However, there were other root causes that we completely missed. We missed a huge one for over a year. And then there were multiple other root causes that really we didn't learn about until she was about 2 years old. So now she is 4.5 years old. She is happy, healthy, developing well, learning well in school, has lots of friends. And myself as a parent, I am getting healthier as well. And as challenging as this experience has been these 4.5 years with Claudina's health, I recognize it now as a huge blessing because it has forced me to pay attention to myself and my health, and not just physical health, right? When we're looking at a holistic approach, we look at physical health, we look at emotional health, mental health, energetic and spiritual health. While looking at all of these, I have absolutely transformed as a person. And now I have the privilege of leading the Mindful Moms Circle. And again, there may be a Mindful Dad Circle if enough dads are interested as well. And what this does is a absolutely holistic approach where we take care of you parents and you moms in the Mindful Mom Circle. We take care of you as you are taking care of your children. And if your children have these health conditions as well, this is my specialty. This approach is what I subspecialize in to help you and your little ones become happier and healthier. And that includes building happy and healthy relationships as well, where you feel a strong bond with your children and they feel that with you as well. And that's where these dragons come into play, because I think when we yell at our kids, when we lose it, when we feel like we are giving ourselves up for our kids and we have this resentment inside, our relationships with our children just aren't what we want them to be. We're not showing up as the parent that we want to be. So that's why this is so important. So again, you are here because you want to be a different parent, right? Yes. You are here because you want to have better relationships with your children. Yes. You are here because you want improved health for you and your family. Yes. So yesterday, we focused on secret 1 and some of secret 2. And today we're going to focus more on secret 2 and secret 3 of the Discover the Dragon Within workshop. Secret 1 was awareness, discovering your dragon side, that part of you that loses it and yells at your kiddos, how to give it compassion and understand where it's coming from. Secret number 2 was communication. Recognize how your dragons are communicating with you, what their communication means, and what to do about it. We covered a good chunk of that yesterday. And then secret number 3, application. How do we apply this to holistic health and holistic parenting? So I want to return to this concept, right? What happens when you go to the doctor with a headache? We discussed how Dr. A may, just say, all right, here you have a headache, take this prescription. And a portion of people will take the medication and they'll be fine. And another portion of people will take the medicine and maybe it'll help for a short amount of time. And then the headache comes back, or they never get any relief. So that group of people that's not getting resolution of this headache means that the root cause is not being addressed. So there may be multiple root causes. We gave the example yesterday, and myself as a doctor of physical therapy, this is something that I'm very trained in, is headaches can be caused by a neck joint dysfunction. So if we identify that the neck joint may be creating this headache, we address it, we treat it, the headache goes away. Or maybe it's stress. If it is stress related, these headaches, if we can learn different coping skills, if we can change some of our stress levels and modify the way we react to stressors, if we go ahead and have agency over changing our situation and our stress levels decrease, then these headaches will decrease as well. So this is what I call the root cause analysis, which is in the bottom corner there. Right? What do? Is we identify the problem, we define it, we understand the problem, then we identify the root cause, we create a corrective action, and then we monitor. And there sometimes are multiple root causes. So we go through this cycle as many times as we need to until there's resolution of these signs and symptoms that you or your little ones are experiencing. And this is what I work through with parents, this root cause analysis, whether it is for you and your health challenges or your little ones, your children. And this also applies not just to physical health, not just to pain and back pain and headaches, but it also applies to things like autoimmunity, digestive issues, food allergies, intolerances, and sensitivities. It applies to emotional health, mental health. So this is something that I'm absolutely passionate about having some awareness of this connection and how this works. This is what I help guide families through, this root cause analysis. So with that in mind, I want to present a topic called the mind-body connection. Now, some of you may have heard of this and some of you haven't, and that's okay. We're going to go through a very brief overview today. So what this means is that when we have these mental stressors, when we have mental health challenges, they can present in physical health signs and symptoms, manifestations. So for example, while I was getting ready to promote this workshop, you may have seen some of my videos, and I had these cold sores all over my lips. And those cold sores were directly related. They popped up literally the morning after I had an extremely stressful evening and afternoon. So those cold sores do not pop up unless I go through an extremely stressful situation, either mentally or physically. However, in this scenario, it was absolutely mental stress. Now, you may experience this in other ways, like we mentioned the headache. When you have stressful situations, you may get a headache, especially as parents. I know I've experienced that. Have you experienced that before? Now, there are also biological, right? These presentations, these signs and symptoms can present in biological ways. So like we mentioned, physical health. There's a neurological health component, which is the mental health. And then there's something called psychoenergetics, and that is the energetic body and the spiritual health. So all of these play key components and key factors in your overall health, in your reality, in every day that you experience. How much stress are you experiencing? How much joy are you experiencing? So this is what the root cause analysis we go deep into. So what I want to ask you is, have you heard about this approach before? And how do you feel about learning all this information and knowledge? So what I also want to mention is that this workshop covers less than 1% of what we cover and what we go through with clients when we are working and coaching together and essentially experiencing a guided handheld experience on your healing journey. So this information, we are just touching the tip of the iceberg, and it's not enough to create the actual healing process and to go through the healing process. You need someone to guide you through. So would any of you be open-minded to hearing more about this incredible offer to join the Mindful Mom Circle that I mentioned earlier? All right. And really what this is for is so that we can help you feel confident and empowered as a parent. You can build stronger and healthier relationships and have a happier and healthier household. And we do this by identifying and addressing the root causes that are creating these challenges for you, no matter what they may be: physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, energetic health. And we really address this from a mind, body, and soul perspective. So it's a holistic approach. And again, this root cause analysis is at the core of it. So when we make the decisions only from the tip of the iceberg, we get information at the wrong time, we make mistakes, and we're not making clear decisions. So have you ever experienced this where you watch a YouTube video on something and you get like one little thing and you're like, all right, cool, I got this, I'm going to try it myself. What ends up happening? How many times do you forget about that? And maybe you do something for a day or two and then you get distracted, or you go, no, this isn't working, I give up, because you don't have the full picture. And in these situations, it is extremely important to have guidance, to have customization, because like I mentioned, the root causes are not the same for everyone. So you may be going down one pathway that may have worked for someone else, but that's not your root cause. That's not going to get you improvement. So this invitation is for those who are ready and committed to taking the next step, who want faster results and better outcomes, who want to identify and address the root causes. And really, so this is so that you can be the parent that you want to be, and you can improve the health and relationships of your family. You want to avoid the common mistakes. You want to stop the stress, the confusion, and overwhelm. You want the fast track. You want to take care of this problem and turn it into a positive with healing, which is something I have personal experience doing, and I've helped dozens of other families with on their journey. So these are just some of my testimonials that I have, because I don't want you just to hear it from me. These are women, these are mainly moms that I've worked with so far, and they have come to me in different challenges. Some of them have been more just mentally stressed with the overwhelm of becoming a mom. Some were more stressed with their child having health conditions. Some needed my help to address these root causes and to work through with them. So these are various situations that I've helped these moms through, and there's many more. These are just a selection of a few of them. So I want to ask you, what would be possible for you if you did have guidance and support, customized guidance and support? How would you feel differently? Would your daily life be different if you knew you could send a message 24/7 to someone, a doctor who could reply to you with an evidence-based, educated answer on what to do next? So far during the workshop, you've discovered one of your dragons, the one that yells at your children, that is angry, that sometimes loses it, that maybe sacrifices yourself, and now you feel angry and resentful for that because you feel like you don't have time for yourself. We initiated a conversation with it. We started understanding how it affects parenting and the health of you and your family. And we learned the importance of a holistic approach so that you can be the parent you want to be and have a happier and healthier household. The thing is, again, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We haven't even touched on root causes, all the root causes, and the root causes of root causes, because there are underlying factors to these things as well. You don't have the customized guidance and solutions. We haven't gone into depth into functional nutrition, gut health and healing, how to avoid common mistakes, mindfulness strategies, and support, a supportive community, how to incorporate all of these for a holistic approach to healing. That is what my system entails. And this workshop, again, is just one little piece of the puzzle. So I am offering you a free one-on-one 15-minute guidance call. This is for the moms or dads who are ready to invest in themselves and their family, who are ready to invest time and energy into improving their health overall, who are ready to transform into becoming happy, confident, calm on your parenting journey. And it's really so that you, your children, and family can be happier and healthier. You can bring these, you can build these strong relationships. And like I mentioned on day one of the workshop, you can improve literally the health and happiness, not just of your children, but future generations to come. So you also don't want your dragons running your life, right? You don't want these dragons dictating your life. You want to acknowledge them and understand them and integrate them. And you don't want to be this parent that is angry and yelling all the time. So again, this guidance call is for the parents who are committed to investing in themselves, in their family, and in getting the guidance and support that they need. This is a special offer only for those on the workshop, and I am currently guaranteeing results. There are limited spots, and the special offer is only available until April 29th of 2022. So these are just a couple testimonials up here, some more of the moms that I've worked with, and the change that they feel. Just these particular ones are only after one session. So the transformation is possible. All you have to do is believe in yourself and make that choice that you want to invest in yourself. So on this guidance call, what we do is we get to know each other. We get to know your challenges, we identify them. And then if this feels well for you, if this resonates for you, we continue on and you can learn what it would look like to work together. So how do you do this? What you'll be getting when you register for the workshop, you will get an email with a link and a coupon code to get this guidance call for free. You go ahead, the top picture on the left is the 2 pink buttons. One of those you're going to click and you're going to complete the transaction with the coupon code. And then the bottom screen is where you'll get to actually go ahead and schedule your call. Now, what you will do is the blue circle is the day that I have availability. And then on the side will be the times that are available. So you'll go ahead and choose whatever time works best for you. If there's something that isn't available, right now I only have a couple of days available right now in April, go ahead and reach out to me. We can always work something out. I can open up another time if needed. So that's what it's going to look like. But again, you need to be registered for the workshop to get this guidance call for free. So go ahead and just click the link below if you're watching on YouTube, and go ahead and sign up for the workshop. Now, this is a key piece in this healing journey, in this holistic approach. And it's a piece that is at epidemic levels and is a silent epidemic. Almost no one is talking about this and the connection to this mind-body connection and to our physical health. So when we talked about dragons yesterday, we talked about how they are a part of us and how we have various parts of ourselves. And it's normal because we may have a part of us that wants to do something and then a part of us doesn't want to do something. Have you ever experienced that when making a decision or making choices, right? And these all parts of us, all of us is good. And we are good parents, we are good moms, we are good dads. And there's something called developmental trauma. Now, what this is trauma that occurs in childhood while the brain and body are still developing. And the window is between actually in utero birth and up to about 7 years old, maybe 8 to 10 years old. There is some variability in the research there. What this shows up as is a self-love deficiency for ourselves and a love deficiency for others. I call this a vitamin L deficiency. And what this presents as is that the child and now adult has a chronic internal stress response. They don't have a sense of internal safety. They don't have the ability to self-soothe, and they have a decreased sense of self-love. Now, where we see this are the moms that are sacrificing themselves for their family, where they don't look at their needs at all, and they only want to help their children. This is where we see people do detrimental things, alcohol abuse, drug abuse. There are many ways that this can present. We're going to go over a couple of them. And really how this starts, what this is this is due to issues relating to emotional bonding with key caregivers in childhood. This is also known as attachment trauma, or you may have heard of attachment styles in the study of psychology. So really, this is a deficiency in the social environment, and it becomes internalized. And these states become traits. So one of my mentors always says, your biography becomes your biology. And we're going to go through the science, through the research of how this works. So developmental and attachment trauma is the #1 most underexposed risk factor for all chronic complex illness. And there's a study called the Adverse Childhood Event Study, ACEs. And it was an epidemiological study done by Kaiser Permanente and the CDC in the US. It surveyed 17,500 adults, and it looked at 10 categories of these ACEs and surveyed them if they experienced them. So some examples were parents separating or going through divorce, physical, sexual, or emotional abuse, physical or emotional neglect, domestic violence, mental illness in the family, or substance abuse, and there are a couple more. And this study was a monumental study because what it did, it linked these social factors, these relational factors, to physical disease and physical conditions. So we're going to go a little bit more in depth in this. And these are early life stressors, these ACEs. I'm going to use that interchangeably. So 67% of adults that reported being exposed to these early life stressors, 67 of the adults surveyed reported being exposed to these early life stressors. And of those, 80% had more than one ACE. So there was a dramatic increased risk of 7 of the top 10 causes of death in those that did experience ACEs, and a 6-fold risk of chronic fatigue. And if you had 6 ACEs, you had a 20-year reduction in your lifespan. So the physical conditions that this study looked at were COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, hepatitis, depression, cancer, diabetes, stroke, being suicidal or attempting suicide, having heart disease, lung cancer, autoimmunity, requiring mental health treatment and support. And it also, this other study done in, I believe, 2009, yes, 2009, linked childhood trauma to chronic fatigue syndrome. So this is proof of this mind-body connection, where these mental stressors, especially in childhood, these have a profound impact on our health moving forward, especially into adulthood. Now, there is a professor, Bessel van der Kolk, who is an expert and leader in this area. And what he said about the ACEs study is that it was a landmark study, it was monumental, but it was just the tip of the iceberg because of these superficial questions. Now, what that means is that the questions, when they surveyed such a large population, they had to make these questions very, they had to fit into a box, right? There wasn't a conversation that they were having with these people. So these people, some of them may not want to self-disclose that they were abused as a child. Maybe some of them still feel a stigma about some of the things that they experience. And some of these things are really difficult to document and to express. So let's take neglect for an example. It's not what happened, it's what didn't happen. And if that's what you were raised with, that was your normal. So you didn't know maybe until adulthood that wasn't normal. And maybe through adulthood, there are many adults who have gone through their whole lives not understanding that they have had some form of neglect. Let me make this bigger. All right, I should have done that earlier. That's all right. So Professor Bessel van der Kolk worked with the National Center for Child Traumatic Stress Network. He surveyed 40,000 children being treated for multiple traumas, and the majority of them didn't meet the criteria for PTSD. So PTSD, what that is a singular event that happens. And when you have a singular traumatic event that happens, you may have PTSD from that. And what PTSD is that anything that triggers thoughts or feelings of that singular event. Now, developmental trauma and attachment trauma is not a singular event. It is repeated relational and social conditions. I'm going to give just a quick example because sometimes it can be hard to conceptualize these things. So let's say a child is told not to cry multiple times. They cry and they go, "Don't cry. Oh, don't cry. Don't be a crybaby." And that's okay if you have been saying these things as a parent, because you very likely were raised this way as well. So what we do is we just reflect and we do what we know, how we were raised. And we don't know what we don't know at the time. So now that you know, you have the agency to change that. You have the control to choose a different way to respond to their children. Now, this child that keeps hearing, "Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, you're a crybaby," they are going to stuff down that dragon. That's a dragon. That's a part of them. That's that sensitive side coming out. And when they stuff down that dragon, this is where the developmental and attachment trauma happens. The child is not accepting a part of themselves. They are labeling a part of themselves as bad. How many of you as parents can relate to that child? I know I can. And this approach that I teach and that I feel so passionate about is what has helped me bring awareness to it and heal from it. So again, with a developmental trauma or an attachment trauma, the person is living with this all the time. It is not just that some little thing triggers you. That does happen as well, triggers further. However, it is a deep-seated feeling. It is the internal sense of a lack of safety, a lack of self-love, a lack of self-acceptance, a feeling of isolation, even though there may be people all around you. There are physiological and emotional symptoms, and this requires a completely different approach than just the PTSD approach from a singular event. What I want to mention is if you are watching this and you have experienced a singular traumatic event and you feel that you have PTSD, there are great alternative, not even alternative, these are conventional practices that are great for you. I recommend that you look for EMDR. This is a well-researched, extremely well-researched and successful treatment of PTSD. So I highly recommend you look for an EMDR practitioner. So again, this developmental approach, I have found the holistic approach to be the most successful. And that's why it really is a totally different approach than just one way of thinking. So the other interesting thing about this developmental and attachment trauma is that it is intergenerationally transmitted. Now, we touched on this yesterday in the first workshop day as well. And what this means is that certain behaviors or traumatic events that our parents have experienced, there are epigenetic changes in DNA that can get passed down the lineage. So our ancestors, what they have experienced, changes the presentation, changes the activation of their DNA, and that does get passed down generationally. So this is called intergenerational trauma, generational trauma, ancestral trauma, and in utero trauma is possible as well. So while your mom, for example, was pregnant, or you as a mom were pregnant, if you experienced high levels of stress, that can affect your child in utero as well. And this is well researched and documented. And this study in particular looks at social relationships and mortality risk. And this is also really important because it's these social relationships. It doesn't have to be these big singular traumatic events that can actually have an effect on mortality. That's what this study is showing. So overall, I hope you can start to understand how your biography becomes your biology. So someone who has experienced these developmental traumas is living in a sense of unsafety. They are living in a lack of self-love day in and day out, a lack of self-care, a feeling that they need to put everyone in front of them, that they don't matter. I want you to know if this resonates with you, you do matter. And I would love for you to love yourself. And I have some great options for you moving forward. Now, this developmental attachment trauma leaves a biochemical imprint. What that means is that it literally changes your biology and your biochemistry, physically, physiologically. There is a neurological imprint in mental health, in neurons. There is an energetic imprint in your energy field. There is a change in your cell danger response. I'm not going to go into the science of all of this. There is changes in gut health. Gut health. So especially if your child has gut health issues, if they have allergies, if they have food allergies and food intolerances, food sensitivities, gut health, I'm telling you, this is such an important piece. It changes our hormones, our neurotransmitters, what we experience as stressful. It affects our immune system. So those of you struggling with autoimmunity, this is how it affects it. It affects our epigenetics, again, our DNA. It changes our detoxification. So how efficient is our body at detoxifying? This is where all these pieces come together in a holistic approach. And again, oh, did I have a double slide? I did. I just added in the articles here. So this article shows that there is epigenetic programming by maternal behavior. So this study in particular looked at rats, and the rats that got more maternal love and care actually responded to stress differently when they were adults than the rats that didn't get the maternal love and care when they were little. And the study on the bottom shows that when children don't get this emotional bond, emotional connection, when they experience these developmental traumas as a child, as an infant in utero, there is a switch that gets flipped and our stress response is different. So an experience that is stressful may not affect other people as much, but for us, it may have a huge stress response. We may feel like we are totally thrown off by these stressors. So these are real scientific studies showing the connection here and explaining it. So what can we do, right? As parents, this may feel like a lot to take in. And I want you to know that, again, there are so many effective and simple things that we can do. So I strongly believe in identifying and addressing the root causes. Once we do that, our entire experience changes. It transforms from being this stressful place where we are yelling at our kids all the time, when we are fighting them all the time, where we may feel isolated, where we feel like we can't take care of ourselves, where we're not loving ourselves, we're not investing in ourselves, we're not prioritizing ourselves as parents. And it transforms into a peaceful relationship with ourselves, with our children, and everyone's health improves. So as a parent, as we heal, no matter what it is, if it's physical, if it's mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, as we heal, we directly heal our children. They heal along with us. And this goes on to future generations as well. That's why healing from multiple aspects and a holistic approach is so important. So what can you do today? You can make the choice to love yourself and to take care of yourself. And how do we do this? There are so many strategies I teach. My favorite one is the mindful breath. If you've been in the workshop on day one, you've already done this. Mindful breathing, taking a few seconds for ourselves to give ourselves, to really gift ourselves a moment of breath, of being present with ourselves, of paying attention to our body, of paying attention to the emotions and feelings. Again, if you're watching this and you haven't gone through the full day one of the workshop, I highly encourage you to sign up for it. It is a wonderful experience that we went through. And you do get that one-on-one guidance call. That is a form of self-love as well. And let's go through a mindful breath now, just for a moment. I give you permission to take this moment for yourself as a parent. So we're going to close your eyes if it feels safe to do so. You can put your hands on your heart. I'm going to have you breathe in through your nose into the belly. And we're going to do a long exhale. And again, in through the nose. Long exhale. In through the nose. And on this exhale, release any anxiety, any worry and concern, any stress. Let out a sigh if you need to. And one more time, in through the nose. And again, let it out. Now you can just breathe normally and just pay attention to the air moving in and out of your nostrils or around your lips. Give yourself permission to take this moment for yourself and to come into your body, to become fully present with yourself. And slowly open your eyes when you're ready. And I'd love to know, how do you feel? How do you feel after giving yourself permission to just be for a moment and knowing that right here, right now, you are safe? So from the start of the workshop, we rated ourselves, and I want you to rate yourself again. Going through this workshop, we looked at the 3 secrets. So becoming aware of our dragons, understanding what they're communicating, what to do about it. And now we completed this connection between how this plays a vital piece and a vital role in our health, in holistic health, holistic healing, and holistic parenting. So grab your piece of paper or your journal or your notes app on your phone. Go ahead and do A through E. And we're going to rate yourself from 0 to 10. How do you feel now? So 0 is this does not apply at all. 10 is this is totally me. So A is how happy are you going through your parenting journey? Sometimes just some of these mindset shifts can make a huge difference in how we feel going through our journey. B is how healthy do you feel? 0 to 10. C is how overwhelmed and stressed do you feel? 0 to 10. D is how confident are you when your child cries, tantrums, or has emotional outbursts? 0 to 10. And E is how aware are you of your emotions and how they affect daily life? 0 to 10. So this is just for you. For those of you that are signed up for the workshop, there is a full self-assessment that you took before the workshop. I'm going to have you go online and take that self-assessment again so you can compare your scores. So again, if you haven't signed up, now is the time. And just in case you missed it, the Mindful Moms Circle has 5 spots available currently. And the special offer from this workshop is only available until the end of April, April 29th, 2022. So if you are interested, go ahead, grab the guidance call that's free with this workshop. And I look forward to getting to know you better and working through what it looks like to work together. And I am also guaranteeing results. So I also wanted to mention right now, I have the Mindful Moms Circle. This workshop is for all parents. So if you are a dad and this speaks to you as well, this is the kind of work that you are ready to do. This speaks to you, this resonates with you. Let me know, because I do have options for dads. I don't have a dad circle yet, a mindful dad circle, and there are one-on-one options. So this is absolutely for you as well. And if you are a caregiver, maybe you are a grandma or grandpa or aunt or uncle, if this speaks to you as well, you are more than welcome to join us and learn how you can heal as well. Anyone, really this applies to anyone. I have a special place in my heart for moms, having gone through this experience and this journey myself. And I am opening this up for moms and dads and parents of all sorts. So again, the one-on-one guidance call is for those of you who are ready to move forward, who are ready to invest in themselves, who are ready to make a change and transform. And I'm always available for questions. So go ahead and type in m.me/Dr. Beata H in your browser and you'll get to my messenger. You can always send me a message there. You can always post something in the discussion and comments as well. I am here to help you, to guide you, to support you in any way that I can. And I want you to know that there is hope. There is hope. And this is meant to empower you, to encourage you, knowing that we can heal from these things. We can heal from these things. And I believe in you. And I give you permission to believe in yourself as well. So as always, I wish you and your little ones all the best. And I look forward to getting to know you and working together more intimately.